Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do some jelly printing. Now, jelly printing is all the rage right now, and I know that there are a truckload of tutorials out there on this. But I just wanted to do some and show you kind of the way that I do it and the way I use it. This is a wonderful creation for those of us who like to paint papers and put paint on paper in different ways. It's a jelly printing plate. I'm sure if you've been into this that you've seen all the introduction to it, but just real quickly, it comes in this plastic container, has an instruction book, and then this is the plate itself. Now you need to lay it out on a non-porous surface. So this is a silicone sheet that I use to do my art on. I'm going to lay it out here. Now it has a plastic cover on the back and the front. You want to remove those. Take those off and lay them aside. One on the front and one on the back. Now these come in, I think, a couple of different sizes. This is the 8x10. I believe you can get it in a 6x6, something a little smaller. But this is the one that I use. Now, today I'm going to just do a bunch of prints and we'll see what happens. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, so it's kind of an iffy thing. So I'm going to briefly kind of show you some of the things that you'll be seeing as we go through this. I'm going to work on 3 different paper types. First of all, just plain paper. This is just some print paper and some cardstock papers that I have. Also, I like to, as I do with my painted papers, I like to use papers that I have handy. That's just scrap paper that usually gets thrown away. I keep all that stuff. That's what I paint a lot of my papers on. And then the other thing I'm going to be doing, these are some prints that I've already done that I'm going to go back and add to them. So you'll see me working with all these different ones. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some paint. I've got some Hansa Yellow Light here. I'm going to squirt a little amount down. And then I am going to, I think I'll take a little Golden Pyro Red and put it down. And then I take a brayer. You can use a brayer or you can use a brush, either way. Brayer works really good. You can just kind of move the paint around like you want it. And you can use more than one color. Of course, you kind of tend to get mud sometimes if you get too many colors. But cover your plate really well with the paint. And then I keep a paper handy to roll my brayer on. When you do that, you're starting a new piece of paper that you can paint later on. So always have that paper handy for that. Okay, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to use the end of the brush. And I'm just going to draw some design. The jelly plate is really easy to draw on, so let's just do some circles. You don't want to press too hard, it really just glides through it. So I'm just circling up here, so to speak, and doing some circles all the way. A few off the page ones maybe, just covering it up, drawing through the paint. A lot of fun to do. Now I'm going to take my paper, one of those papers that I showed you. This is just a plain piece of white paper, and I'm going to lay it down on the jelly plate. Take your hands and just smooth it out. Be sure you go all the way to the edges so that you get all of your design. And then peel it off. And voila! There is your print. You see that where you took the paint away, it left a little bit of the white, and the rest remains. So remember that whatever you lay down here, if it's a solid piece, it's going to block out and you won't get that. So there is our first one. Now for cleanup, we got most of it on this one. You can take a piece of paper and make another print from that. Let me get a piece here, something else that I have. Actually, what I'm going to do, this is a jelly print that I made before. I've already done a couple of layers on it. I'm going to lay it on here and see what comes off of this is what we call a ghost print, when you print up what's left. So you see a little bit of it did come out on that. So this is a piece that I have done 3 layers of printing on, and I will probably continue to do some more till I have it just like I want it. So now clean up, and you want to clean up, and you want to clean up pretty quick. You don't want your paint to dry on here. I keep a spray bottle of soapy water, and I've got it labeled soapy, so I don't use it on anything else. Spray down your jelly plate really good. I keep paper towel, very handy. And I start on the edges and clean the edges first and kind of go around. Be sure I kind of clean up the sides if it dripped over so it doesn't make a mess for the next one. But just go around, clean it good, add more soapy water as you need it if it started to dry. And I clean off the excess really good with the paper towel first. And then I have a soft cloth that I keep on hand. Once I get the bulk of the paint off, I take this soft cloth, I may soap it again a little bit and wipe it down. Then it's ready for your next project. So I'm just going to go through these and speed it up so it goes a little bit faster and do some different things, and I'll talk to you about what I'm doing as it progresses. This is a lot of fun. I hope that you'll get into this and enjoy yourself. So let's go. So here we go. There's some blue and some pale yellow that I'm putting down on the jelly plate, and gonna take that brayer and roll it all around, cover it up. And then I'm going to be laying down a stencil. Well, first I'm going to do this twirly thing, this little twirly gadget that you can make marks with. It's kind of fun. And what I do next is I lay a stencil down in the middle of it. And this is one of those that didn't turn out right the first time because of the stencil. And what I learned from this is that when you lay down a stencil like that, you got to rub extra hard where the stencil is to be sure to get that paint to come through. And I did not do that this first time. Got some black paper there. I am introducing some papers I didn't talk about at first, but see there, it didn't show up. So lay it aside, going to do something with it later, and I peel up the stencil. Then I'm just going to take some white paper that I have and lay down on it and get up what's left, and that really wound up being a very nice print. I really like the way that one turned out. So now this one I forgot to turn the camera on, and all I did was take some pink and some blue paint I had and brush it on. I brushed that on, laid a stencil down, and made some marks around the stencil. So this time I'm pressing a little harder, except this stencil always does well. So there it goes, and I've got this left in the middle of the plate. So I'm taking, this is the piece that we started with, the very first one we did, and so I'm going to do some layering with it. So there it is. It's just kind of a blobby mess, but we will get back to it. So clean it up and start over again. Here I'm using some wonderful colors, some golden turquoise phthalo and some golden quingachrome azo gold, and gonna use the brayer and put it down. Beautiful colors. I love working with these colors. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this um, spiral stamp, I couldn't think of the word, spiral stamp, and press it down in the paint. Be sure you don't move it around too much. And then I'm going to lay another stencil down in the middle. This time I'm going to learn from my past mistake, and when I press the paper against it, you'll see me rubbing a little extra hard on the stencil. And you see I've got some wallpaper. Love to work with wallpaper. You never know what's going to turn out, and this really turned out very nice. So I like the wallpaper with it. See how I'm rubbing that stencil good to be sure that that's going to come through this time. And sure enough, it did. So there's that pretty piece of paper, and see how that wallpaper peeks through? I really like that. So now I do have some left on my plate. I'm just going to make some marks through it. And what I'm going to use here, this is interfacing, just plain old interfacing. I love working with this. Now you want to take another piece of paper and put over it, because if you rub it with your hands without the paper, it makes a mess, because it does come through. So just some other piece of paper, could be anything you want. It's another stencil I had started before, and rubbed it, and then got the interfacing, and love that. May add to that later. Now this is just clear water. Sometimes that paint gets a little dry. I'm going to do a third thing here. I'm going to take some tissue paper. I like to always have tissue around and do a lot of blotting with it, because you can get some pretty tissues. And I am a collage artist, so I'm always thinking about what I can use in collages. So now there's that piece we did before, and I want to do something to the borders. So I'm going to lay down some golden fluid acrylic, hence the yellow, and just brush it on. And I'm going to take my finger and smear the edges, kind of give it a little bit of something. And then I'm drawing some circles in here, but you will see when I actually do the print, the circles for some reason didn't come out. I'm not real sure. I don't know if I didn't rub it hard enough or rubbed it too hard or what, but it kind of it just came out yellow. So that's fine. I got some yellow out there, and I will come back to that piece. So I'm going to take my brush again and draw circles and see what we can come up with this time. Now this time I have this piece that's the piece that we started with, and then I did the other in the middle that kind of came out a blob. So now I've added a little border to that, and I like it. Now I'm going to do this heart, and it's going to go in the middle of that piece where the stencil didn't work. I wanted something in the middle of that, so I thought, well, let's just do a heart. So I just brush the paint down and draw through it, and add in a few little purple dots, and I'm gonna get that piece and do something with that black blob in the middle. So got my black paper, and I'm putting it down, and it turned out good. It still had a little bit of the black from before showing, but that's okay. Now I'm going to take the heart and do something with my ghost print. That's another print that I've made previous to this video, and I just want to add it to there. So there you go. Got that heart on that one. And I still have a little left. I'm going to take my water and mist it. I'm going to take my tissue paper from before, and I'm going to add to my tissue paper. Give it a little bit more something going on. So there's the tissue. So now we're back to the place with the paper with the blob in the middle and the circles on the outside that I've done, the one we started with in the beginning. It's got several things going on. So I want to give it kind of a finished look. And it's just the middle part of that print that's kind of bothering me. So I'm just laying down some pale yellow, and I've got these cutouts of circles that I'm going to lay down because I want to preserve some of that blue and pink blob that's in the middle, but I want to give it some design. Again, remember, rub really good so that the paint will come over the stencil and make its mark. So peel it back, and I just am really now happy with this piece that has, what, 4 layers on it now. Turned out to be a good piece. So there's my second heart, the heart that I did the second time, and decided to lay my circles back down. At first I thought I'd just ghost print it, but I thought, no, I want that to be the same kind of design on there. So just go over it and took care of the middle of that piece. Now, metallics. I love the metallics. This is Jacquard Luminaire. That is Halo Blue Gold, and then I'm going to use some Super Copper. And lots of times, most of the time, I do this on black, and I have some on my blog spot that I've done on black, but today I'm going to do it on some wallpaper. I have some dark red wallpaper with some print on it that I thought it would be really nice on. So first I'm going to take one of my stamps and stamp this image. I have this stamp I made of flower, big flower. So stamp it down first, and then I'm going to take my brush and take the end of my brush, and I'm going to do some marking to kind of accentuate those flowers, the edges, the curves, and it's just doodling. That's all it is. It's a lot of fun, and it's going to give it a different look. So do a little bit of that, and here's my wallpaper, and turn it up and press it down. I'm not going to press too hard on this because I don't have any stencils. I just want that image to come through. So there it is, and it's really very pretty. I'm trying to get it in the light just right for you, but I do have a photo at the end that you can see it better. So I'm spraying my paint, and I'm going to lay down this is a piece of paper that's got some calligraphy on it, and it's really interesting how different these paints look now on this white paper. Just took on a totally different color. Just love those metallics. You never know what they're going to do. So this is the last experiment, and what I'm going to do here is that piece that I did the yellow around the border, and I'm just not happy just with that glaring yellow. So I'm putting down some purple paint, and I got my hole punch and punched out some holes to make some dots around the edge. And so what's going to happen is when we print it, the purple will come through, and where the yellow is, where the dots are, that will be yellow dots. So gonna get that print, that one, remember it, the yellow border, yep, and put it down and press a little bit hard around there because that's a raised surface, those dots, and I want it to come out right. There it is. Took on a whole different look. So it's really fun. I really enjoyed doing this. I'm going to take my tissue now and blot up what's left there. And at the end of the video, I will have pictures of these, and hope you enjoyed it. And you can go to my blog spot and see what I'm doing on there. I'm having a good time with the gel arts. Thanks for stopping by. See you later.